Hello, everyone. I'm Wendy Liebman, CEO and Chief Shopper at WSL Strategic Retail, and this is Future Shop. Today, I'm here again with my partner in crime for all things cloud, retail, digital, e-commerce, and all of the above in our new feature called Cloud Chat. My partner is Justin Honaman. He's the head of worldwide retail and consumer goods, go-to-market, and everything else at Amazon.
Totally.
Justin, welcome back to our Cloud Chat on Future Shop.
It's great to be here, and I look forward to these every month. And I have a lot of fun, thinking about what's happened in the last couple of weeks since we last talked. And so, and there's just things are moving that quickly right now in our industry. So
what's happened in your last couple of weeks? What are you seeing out in our CPG retail cloud kind of world?
It's interesting. One thing that I find super valuable about our team's role here at Amazon is every day we're with customers, every day, and sometimes multiple customers in a day. So what's I think so interesting about that is first you get the real view of what's going on from actual customers, right? And not just reading about it, but also you get an idea of what could work or what might work, and also the ability to test ideas and really sense for where things are, like with generative AI, which we talked a little bit about in the past. We'll hit that again today. But now here we are. And I mean, quickly we're into holiday. And so in the retail space today, a lot of retailers are kind of battening down the hatches, right? Retail stores are open and busy. E-commerce is booming. And so, we've got a busy next couple of weeks in retail, and then we go right into NRF in January.
Yeah. And it is that interesting balance of everybody's, we've got people on our team who are hugely excited. Holidays are coming, lists are getting written, starting to buy, taking advantage of, the early deals everywhere.
Right.
So already building their lists, checking them twice. So a lot of excitement on the one hand. On the other, we've got, like you, spending time with clients, retailers, and brands who are like, oh, those last results weren't so hot, traffic's down, what can we expect? All of those things. So it feels like that I'm excited, I want to get the season going. On the other hand, let's be sensible and cautious and all of those things. So what's your view on that? The NRF was quite aggressive with their forecast for the year. So what's your point of view?
Certainly, when you look at the metrics around households, unemployment, CPI, PPI, shopping behavior, basket sizes and whatnot, you definitely see a resilient consumer. You also see tensions in some parts of retail where products like groceries are super expensive, and so that's really challenging for budgets and whatnot. So while yes, there's a lot happening in retail back in stores and then in e-commerce, there's also this tension playing around out where prices have not come down on significant items, and so that's causing some budgetary issues for the shopper.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things. So I share with you, hot off the presses, our latest work looking at the end of the year and into 2024. And we, that just unsettledness on the part of the consumer as shopper who's saying, we don't think prices are going to come down, period. Just in case, we're going to be cautious, credit card debt up, savings down, and college debt, those sort of things, rolling back onto people. So just that sort of, speaking of cloud, but grey cloud, not to mention all the other things that are cloudy in the world. But you always do get that moment when you say, but it's the holidays.
That's
and
right.
You say, it's been a rough couple of years, carpe diem, seize the moment, and then we'll worry about it in January. So you're right, the tensions are really, really quite prevalent in all of this.
Yeah, another interesting thing to think about for those of you that are in retail or consumer goods, this will make sense. And even if you're not, just think about this for a moment. The input costs that go into making like a beverage product or snack food or apparel and whatnot have gone down, right? The costs have gone down. Supply chain is back to operating pretty efficiently right now. And so therefore, the cost of making goods has come down for CPG brands. The question is, are they passing that savings on to retailers? Okay. And then if they are, is the retailer passing it on to the shopper or consumer? And so, there really hasn't been a good benchmark in the past of price decrease. So I think that's an interesting tension playing out across our industry.
Yeah, and I think that's been reflected in some of the big CPG companies' results, where they've talked about, growth. You can see the growth, but if you look at units, it's not units growing. Whether it's the Unilevers of the world or even P&Gs of the world, in that sort of space. So I always say, have they been speaking to the shopper at the checkout to see what they're doing and how much they've got left over? So I think you're absolutely right. Tension's the perfect word for many things in our lives these days. And so we'll see where that goes. And just, the efficiency, though, of being able to still buy through e-commerce. If I want a deal, I know where to go, buy early, all of those kinds of things that people are doing beyond, services and leisure and entertainment and things where people really are saving up their money to spend, as opposed to, another cocktail. Well, it depends who we're. So coming into the, you and I talked about AI, we talked about generative AI, interesting things in that space continue to be. I hope lots of companies are experimenting, testing, learning. What are you seeing out there?
Yeah. So just let me frame the year a bit. In NRF of this year, we as a business we're focused with our customers on everything around like unified commerce, like a personalized experience, connected commerce, moving to new, more flexible platforms for e-commerce, modernization and migration, obviously to cloud was obviously a big topic, supply chain efficiencies, looking at new technologies in the back end. And then around March, generative AI kind of took over every conversation. The last couple of weeks, though, I would say, from the generative AI perspective, many companies now testing and trialing models on specific data sets around specific use cases. And in the bucket of generative AI, it's specifically around text, around images, and around coding. Okay, so those are the first three areas that are really prevalent across the customers we're working with in retail. And same on the consumer goods side. Those are the three big buckets. At the same time, though, we're also seeing renewed focus on sustainability, and that being built into how you operate and in the products you make and sell. Like as I mentioned earlier, back to thinking about your e-commerce platform and how do you make it leveraging microservices and APIs and composable. These are the buzzwords in the e-commerce space right now around basically making a much more flexible platform. And finally, customer experience and things like personalization that have been around for a long time there's an opportunity to leverage the tech in that space to drive incremental upsell, cross-sell, and engagement with customers like never before. So a lot of excitement and energy around these different areas. And yes, I'd still put generative AI like at the top of the list because it's such a game changer. But these other areas are also, I'd say, progressing nicely as we go into holiday.
I think the other thing about that, we had Alyssa Shue Lynch on the podcast, and she is a former J&J and then Google executive, doing a lot of work in the startup space now in healthcare and very focused on healthcare. And so she and I talked quite a lot about, where technology and AI and generative AI is already having a positive impact in terms of everything from, testing, evaluating tests, building out new platforms for innovation, and, obviously wearables, all of those things. So it was a really exciting conversation about the sort of positive impact. And then talking to one of our retail clients about loyalty programs and how, you can build some of these programs that are real loyalty programs, not just discount programs, using personalization, using AI to help personalize everything from the offers to the experience, to all of those things. So, seeing that on two fronts has been quite exciting, actually, beyond what we talked about last time. So, it feels like we're hopefully, as you and I have said, that people are testing and learning and thinking about application in lots of different ways, beyond writing their school papers or something, whatever.
Right. Yeah, my observation has been it's been market dependent, and some geographies are more progressive or more progressively diving in and testing out and trialing and developing ideas and concepts versus others. And the next 3 months, 4 months, we will all see many examples of retail brands and consumer brands bringing to life use cases, leveraging all kinds of different models and around specific data and solving interesting and unique problems. I believe at NRF, it will be the flagship. Like they might as well raise a generative AI flag over the Javits Center. Most tech companies are building this in as well. You'll see this in Salesforce and others. It's already in. You already see it playing out like with an iMessage on your phone. And so this is moving quickly. And we need to everyone should be paying attention and have someone engaged. And this is not an IT thing. Do not just say IT's got it. This is a business and technology opportunity.
Yeah. The mailbox right on the phone is now just blowing up with everything from, I'm getting stuff from Boots in the UK and Mecca in Australia. Actually, some really great personalized work. Our latest results from our How America Shops research, national survey of shoppers said 50% will spend less this year versus only 16% who said they will spend more. So there's about a third in the middle who'll spend the same. We're really wrong in this, but let's see where they spend it. That will be the issue. So who knows? Well, we will speak before all of that comes to play. But as always, thank you for the state of things. And next time I might tickle you a bit and talk about Amazon and retail.
That sounds great. I look forward to it.
All right, my dear. See you in the future and happy generative AI days.